Good morning, everybody. Welcome into CanesInSight Daily. I'm Peter Ariz, bringing you today's show as we're going to be talking Miami's running back room. It's a loaded group. You're losing a big player from last year in Damian Martinez, but they are reloading. Very excited about this group. Going to talk about that here in a moment, as well as CJ Daniels, wide receiver, looking very healthy. D-Money and I have talked about this guy a good amount the last month plus. You know, really coming out of spring, he was a guy that we've heard a lot of good things in terms of him coming along from his injury that he suffered last year. And if you guys can tell, it's just me today. D will be out. He's traveling today. He'll be back the rest of the week. But we'll have a special guest here joining me in just a moment here shortly. Before that, of course, wanted to remind you guys that this show, as always, is brought to you by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Dial 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733, and take back control of your life with Anajar and Levine. So I told you guys I would not be alone today. D's not joining me. We have a very special guest joining me right now, and that is 50.
What's good?
Six Sports. What's good, my boy? How you doing? Good morning.
Feeling real good, man.
Hey, man, we got no propaganda today. D's not on the show, so it's just you and I. We can talk the real. Nah, I'm messing around, man. We'll miss D.
Right.
Obviously, he's been holding it down like crazy here, doing a bunch of streams here. But no, man, excited to chop it up with you today. I'm really excited about this running back room, man. I don't know about you, but it's a group that I'm hearing a lot of great things about. We'll go one by one in a little bit here, but. Man, Martinez, I think he took a little bit to get going last year. I think people were kind of in the beginning of the year questioning. Yeah, they were on him, and we got to give him credit. He turned it around last year, big time. I think once he really got himself in shape. I don't know that he was in tip-top shape heading into camp. Like I don't think he was as lean as maybe he wanted to be or Miami needed him to be. But once he got in shape, he looked like a different back. So you're losing Martinez. He's an NFL back, right? That's not going to be an easy one to replace. His running style, I think we all became a fan of how downhill he got, and he gained some steam once he got going. But I think the potential of this group, it could be better than what it's been the last couple of years.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely with what we got out there, Porter, with Charmar Brown. Been hearing too many great things about him. And he's a grown man. Like, you see it.
You see his legs, man. You see the physicality that he's got in the lower half.
Yeah, like you see it with him. And like you said, we're gonna go one by one. But man, I just see a stacked room. And it's crazy because last year we were stacked. But this year we still stacked. So I love it. That's why I know y'all probably don't want to talk about it, but I can't cry over Derek Cooper. I just can't.
Listen, man, we said yesterday, everyone's complaining about Derek Cooper, and obviously it's a big loss. But for this season, he wasn't going to do anything for this season. So obviously, we're talking about this group right here. Looking forward, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure that they're going to want to bring in another back, whether in this class or through the portal, because you have Javion Mallory right now, who I think we like him a lot as a back, but you're going to need another one there, because we'll talk about it in a second. But I would think you lose Fletcher after this year if he does what he's supposed to do, right? So let's get right into it. Let's start with Fletcher, because we're very excited about Jordan Lyle, and I think he could end up being RB1 when it's all said and done. But I think people need to really take a look at what Mark Fletcher has done the last couple of years, right? And yes, he's had some fumbling issues. He's got to take care of the football, and he's not going to be that. We understand he's not going to break 50, 60-yard runs consistently. But looking back at what he did freshman year, because let's look at the numbers here, 50.
Right.
514 yards, 4.9 yards an attempt. The next year, which was last year, 5.4 yards an attempt, 9 touchdowns, man. I think that's what people, for many years, we lacked a back who you could just give the ball to, and a lot of that was O-line driven, right? The blocking up front wasn't what it needed to be, and we know where it is now. But 9 touchdowns, that's a lot, man. That's as running back number 2, when you had another back in Martinez who could finish off drives himself too. So his ability on short yardage and 5.4 yards a carry, that man takes 2 or 3 steps and he's picking up 5 to 6 yards because he's a long strider.
Right.
So I don't know. That's my opinion. I think people are kind of like, I don't want to say sleeping on him because they know he's a real good back, but
Right.
I think they look at him a certain way and think that that's who he is without realizing, man, I think he's got another level to his game once he gets more carries this year.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I've been too hard on him. I ain't gonna lie to you. But what I will say is this, and what made me fall back, you gotta remember, he went through some things last year too. So with that being said, it was just on some, okay, you know what I'm saying? He get a full off season, you know what I'm saying? And he a veteran, like he a veteran now. Like, it's him, what, Charmar, like they like, and Lyle, like they like the veterans of the group, and they young as hell. So
yeah, and Lyle carries himself like a vet too.
Right.
So
right. So it's more so okay, I had to lay off on because I do remember, like, he went through things, and plus, like you said, 9 touchdowns. At the end of the day, he doing his job. So only thing he got to do is just, you know what I'm saying, hold on to the pill. And I believe he do that this year. Like,
when you
really
got a whole off season,
right,
and that's all that's on your mind,
right.
Like that. Listen, we've seen backs. Remember Tiki Barber had horrible fumbling issues. He completely that was holding him back, and he goes on and has a Hall of Fame career. There's a list of these guys. Some guys they can't get over it, but yeah, Arian Foster was another one. But I think, listen, Fletcher, it's a lot of times it's a concentration thing, and I know that's been a focus of his this offseason. Physically, we know he's a 230 plus pound back.
Right.
But man, I think if you're an opposing defense, he's not someone you want to see running at you in the open field, right? And we have to, as fans, we're watching. Yes, we want a back who's gonna, every time he touch it, we think he can score, right? And just go the distance. That's not always
that's
a defense worth,
I ain't gonna
right? That's not a realistic thing. And
right.
I think we saw at times last year what that duo of Martinez and Fletcher did in terms of wearing defenses down, allowing Lyle to get loose. You saw him at the end of the game against USF, for example. But I think you're still going to have some of that element, even though you're losing Martinez, Jordan Lyle, which we'll get to him here now in a second. People talking about the speed that he has. He's a complete back. He can run you over in the open field as well.
Right. You talking about Lyle, right? Yeah.
Lyle, yeah.
He can run you over and stomp on your chest type time. Yeah, he like that. And like what I like with Fletcher and Lyle, they both can catch out the backfield too. Mm-hmm. And they both can block. So it's just like you really ain't got nothing to worry about. And that's why I'm looking at the like you said, this running back room. Yeah, what up here 919? But yeah, this running back room, man, it gives you, because you saw it, we ran good last year. So it gives you hope, because I look at Notre Dame, I feel we can run on it.
Right. I mean, look, that's going to be the question. We know what their defense is bringing, right? But I tend to agree with you on that one. I wanted to get to this comment real quick from Roger Allen. He says Fletcher's proven Lyle's all potential, very little production. I'll say this, man. In obviously the sheer carries and yards, obviously Lyle doesn't have that yet. But you look at Fletcher year one, ran for 514 yards and 4.9 yards an attempt and 5 touchdowns. Year one for Lyle, he was only 100 yards less than that, 1 less touchdown, and he was running back number 3 on half the carries, by the way. So he had half the carries that Fletcher had year one and was only back 100 yards. So running back production is a weird thing for me. I think a lot of it is driven by carries, right? And I look at the yards per carry. I'm not really concerned about the very little production part, just because I think once he gets those carries, the production is going to be there. But what do you see with Lyle, and what do you think about this comment here?
Oh, well, what I see with Lyle, like Roger Allen, you my boy. You know what I'm saying? You show a lot of love, but hey, man, when it comes to Lyle, look, you saw what that man could do. Like, you see it. You ain't got to have the carries. You know it. Like talent when you see it. You saw the speed. You saw the physicality. In the Florida game, he didn't get all the yards, but you saw him blocking. Like, you saw it all. And then, look, he say Lyle, Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this, Hill 919. The man is the real deal. Like, he had to learn some things because he's a freshman. But man, what I saw in that spring, I'm sold. Like, he got everything.
I think D said it best. I think maybe at times he tries to do a little too much. He's got that incredible contact balance, so he feels like he can break every tackle, and then, instead of just taking kind of like, that's it. Look, I get it. We can take a couple yards here and get to the next play. That probably might be his fault, but I think you're going to see a lot of big runs come from that this year, as long as he can keep it under control.
Right. And I feel like I said, you get this, like you said, you were talking about how he had 100 less yards, right?
Yeah.
And all that. Like, you see the production, and you look at our schedule. How many teams gonna be able to stop this run? How many teams gonna be able to stop us from, like, the way it's looking? Like, somebody gonna have 1,000 yards again. And I think it could be Lyle. It could be Fletcher. I say this: we all know Fletcher finna have over 10 touchdowns this year. We know that.
Well, and this is, to me, really a crazy number when you look at who Miami's third back going to be in Charmar Brown.
Right.
Marty Brown had last year. Let me pull it up. I had the stats here. He had 244 carries last year. Damian Martinez, as Miami's number one back, had 159. Right. So he pretty much had like 100 more carries. He carried the load, and we understand he's pretty much going to be the running back number 3. I think, as running back number 3 last year, Lyle got 54 carries. I think running back number 3 is going to get closer to 100 carries this year. I think it's going to be spread out a little bit more, because last year it was Martinez and Fletcher taking the heavy load. I think it's going to be spread out more evenly amongst the 3 of them. But man, 244 carries in a season as a true freshman. And then you're coming now to Miami where you don't have to carry the load
at all.
I think his legs are going to be nice and fresh when he gets his opportunities, and his running style, man. I don't know about you, but at least I was a big fan of AJ Allen. Right. And I thought it would have been nice to keep him around, but you also can't fault the kid for going and wanting to be the featured back at a place. He sat here for a couple of years, waited his turn. But I think if you could kind of nitpick, AJ Allen, a lot of times he was a dancer in the backfield, which it was effective. He again, his numbers for where he was very good. But Marty Brown, his running style, downhill, goes and hits the hole. There's not much dancing around back there. He's decisive. So I think that between the tackles running style that he brings should fit perfectly.
I'm talking about perfectly. You see how we block. You see how it goes. You see the physicality. Like, he is like, when you look at the film, he's like a Mario type back. Like, he's physical. And that's another dude, can get a bunch of touchdowns. And I kind of want to spin the block on what you had said, because you were like, they're going to be spread it evenly, right? But I can also see, like, they going with the hot hand too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever just running, just keep them out there.
I agree. I think when I say that, I mean more so like when we look back on the end of the season, we say, okay, everyone had over 100 carries. I think we can say the Fletcher and Lyle will for sure get that. But I think like the gap between 2 and 3 will definitely be less, because Marty Brown, I mean, again, Fletcher, I think, and Lyle are securely 1 and 2, but Marty Brown is lurking, man. Marty Brown is, as we've talked about him a little while ago, but he's got a lot of fans in that building.
Yes. And you see him, the man looked like a superhero out there, man. Like, he looked crazy. And like I said, it's an embarrassment of riches. Like, what's crazy is when we got him, it was on some, it was like, what? Like icing on the cake. Like,
it was honestly surprising to me, man. And just talking to people around Miami, because you're talking about a dude who was a freshman of the year at the FCS level. You're talking about a dude who got, we just said it, 244 carries. You're going to get the ball and you're going to be featured back. I'm not saying he was going to stay at North Dakota State. But what I'm saying is, to get a guy to come in and agree to be running back number 3, But from what I understand, Fifth, Miami thinks this guy could be a big part of their future for next year too. So I think I got to give him credit for seeing that vision as well, and not saying, man, it's a short-sighted thing. It's either this year or bust, because I still have a couple years left here, 2-3 years left if I wanted. And I think he saw that next year there's a real opening for him to be one of this season coming up, be a big part of the offense, and then the year after that, kind of be one of the featured guys.
And like you said, he had great foresight. Like that's great, because why get used up this year when you could just show the scouts everything in your money year? So that's great.
Appreciate all the support. Of course, 50 Category 6 Sports. Go check them out on all the platforms. And then, of course, you got the Category 6 playbook here. I'm gonna pull up the page. Let the people know, man, what Category 6 playbook's all about. And then, of course, Category 6 Sports as a whole.
Yeah, man. You get data-driven sports picks. You get merch. You get, all 22. You get recruiting portal news. You get it all. Like, just come rock out with us, man. And that's everything right there. Oh man, Suave.
How about the song, man? Going crazy. He got Fran Brown going crazy, man.
Man, Fran Brown had to give it up. Like, I ain't gonna lie, this is hard. Yeah, it is. And he meant that too. I'm with him. Yeah, I want revenge.
You did a show with Suave yesterday, right?
Right.
Yeah, so guys, go check that out. Suave just put out a nice Canes track. Got a lot of mentions of people that we know very well, D Money included. So go check it out, guys. Go support support Suave. I know a lot of you have heard it. Cliff, shout out to Cliff. Appreciate the support as always.
Yeah, shout out to Cliff.
So 50, I like this comment here from Jonathan Crumbly. He says, our running game will be good, especially when you add Lofton. Elijah Lofton, we haven't talked about him on short yardage. And then, the speed guys like Nikar, Malachi Tony, Ray, Keelan Marion on end arounds, bubble screens. Definitely want to see more of that this year. I think you have more guys with that skill set. Last year, I don't know that those guys that was their skill set necessarily.
Right.
But you saw what Marion did at BYU. He was really a gadget sort of receiver for them. Ray, I've been someone who's said from the beginning, look, Ray was a running back in high school. I think early on you really needed to get him some of these touches, get him confident. I think that maybe kind of hurt his confidence a little bit. We saw the drop. We've seen some of the other stuff. So I would like to see that. But he brings up a great point about Elijah Lofton, who D Money, as we know, brings top-notch info, was raving about him last spring when Miami was down, when their depth chart numbers were low at running back. And he was saying that this was maybe the best running back on the roster last year. So let's not forget about that weapon in the backfield as well.
And that's like, he like a nice insurance policy just in case injuries happen. So yeah, I'm with that. And we'll say Charmar would get 80+ carries. Lyle would get 100 to 125, and Fletcher would get around 150 carries. The run game, right. Yeah, it sounds about right to me. And that's what I want to see, because we got the trenches. We got big old linemen. This ain't the tow trucks of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we got big guys.
Now I will say I'm excited about. We know Hellcat. Chris Wheatley Humphrey, he was a guy who needed to put some good weight on. I think has done that. It's an opportunity here now for him in the fall to earn himself some carries, right? Because I think once you get to running back number 4, that's where it's kind of like you understand that guy's not really going to be as involved. But knock on wood, hopefully there's no injuries, but that's the nature of the position. We've been very lucky there. We've been very, very lucky there.
Not the first year, but after that, we've been blessed. We've been blessed.
Last year, I should say. And it's crazy because of the style that those guys run.
Right.
Fletcher, well, and I should say Fletcher, Fletcher, we didn't know what it was going to look like. That's another part of the whole Fletcher thing, by the way. We didn't know what he was going to look like coming in. There was a lot of questions about how healthy he was going to be. Miami was taking that thing very slowly, as they should have, because it was the foot. But man, you're talking about a fully healthy Fletcher too, where, you know, that's to me a different ballgame. Yes, he was healthy last year, but I think just naturally it probably took him a few games to get that speed under his belt.
Right. And that's why I'm just like I'm big time. Like I ain't got no worries with the running back room, like none, because you see it, like you said, Fletcher, touchdown magnet. Then you got Lyle, do it all. Then you got Charmar Brown, grown man, another, you know what I'm saying, physical running back. You got Wheatley Humphrey, Hellcat, you know, he got speed. And then I'm gonna let you bring up the last guy.
Gerard Pringle, man. I think he, you know, he wasn't really healthy during spring 50,
Right.
and he started to practice there a bit at the end. And I know there's like he's someone the O linemen really like to block for, because he's completely different style from these other guys, where he kind of gets in the crease and then boom, he's gone. Like he doesn't need much room to operate. He's a little jitterbug back there, but his quicks, I think his, you know, in those tight spaces, it's going to give you a much different look. And what I was saying before is, like, you get to running back 4, you know that those guys aren't going to be a huge part of the offense, but one of the other guys goes down and all of a sudden they become a very important part of what you do. And I think Pringle he gives you such a different look than the other guys that, you know, middle of the third quarter, you maybe give him a touch or two. You throw him a little screen pass and see what he can do. You know, they tried it with Chris Johnson last year. It wasn't completely effective for whatever reason. And look, we already know we're gonna be upset when we see him at SMU doing things this year. But I think Pringle could work himself into the mix as another wrinkle to the offense when it's all said and done.
Yeah. And like you said, they could throw on the screen, this, that, and the third, right? But like I like how you circle in on how he get in between, like in the small spaces, because that's what we saw at the spring game. Like he looked real good out there, getting to that next level and all that. Like he had the speed, and there was one play where I like, well, if they ain't make that tackle, he was gone. So yeah, and the speed is legit.
I'm pulling up his high school stuff here.
Oh,
and again, he's from Armwood, obviously a big time program. So, yeah, I would agree with Heel 919 says he's good, but too small right now. Yes, he needs to put some good weight on. I would caution. I don't want to see him get too big, because then you lose some of that speed. But I don't think he's too small to get 3 to 4 touches a game, right? I mean, and let's. It's not like he's going to be taking a beating consistently. That's what these other guys are for. So I don't know that you have anyone. Lyle, we know can break a big one, but I think this is a sort of player that when he gets in space, you're very concerned. As a defense. And then look, this also brings into play, which we haven't seen a ton of with Dawson, but are we going to see some 2-back sets? Are we see D Money talk about Fletcher as a, you know, potential? He likes to say he has the, you know, some of the ability of a fullback of a modern day, where he could block, you know, catch passes. I don't know that is. I don't know that that's what Miami sees him as, but I could see some 2-back sets without a doubt.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it looked like you got Pringle on fast forward, but he just that fast. And like you said, like 2-back sets, and you get Pringle out here. This what separate him from Chris Johnson to me. You see the wiggle, like you just see it. Like I saw Chris Johnson try to do a spin move. I didn't like it. Oh man,
you see there Pringle. He's not trying to bust everything outside. He's running. He's really running between the tackles, which I agree with you. I some of these speed guys. Boom! Look at him here. I mean, yeah, he busted outside there a little bit, but he's for the first 10, 12 yards. He's in the middle of the field.
Yeah, like you don't really see, like, okay, he busted outside right there, but I done seen him run, you know what I'm saying, like in between the tackles and just get gone, get lost. So yeah, man. He said he haven't seen it. Yeah, man. Hey, get familiar, man.
Yeah, no, he's real nice, man. And I think
Yeah.
that we didn't really talk about him that much during spring 50 because he was out for most of the spring.
Right.
But talking to some people, yeah. No, and you said it. It's not just the
speed.
Like, it's not just the speed. It's like, look, he's not we understand he's not going to be bouncing off of every tackle, but I mean, he's not falling down on first contact every time, which I think, again, if you could nitpick about Chris Johnson wasn't a guy who was going to break many arm tackles necessarily.
You want to know what's crazy? I wouldn't be surprised if Lashley started putting Chris Johnson at receiver. Like reverse Brashard Smith. Like, I could really see that.
We saw a lot of fans kind of suggest that. Look, I don't know. It's a completely different position. We talk about the wiggle. Does he have the ability, as a route runner? That'll be a tough one. But as a gadget guy, I think we can agree that he has some ability. And man, Heel 919 says he looks like Duke Johnson.
I love Duke. He wasn't this fast.
Yeah, Duke. I mean, Duke got big too. Duke remember, Duke got really big at Miami. I think Duke probably lost some speed at Miami.
Yeah, he did.
That probably also helped him get in the league. I mean, he was still a 3rd round pick, so it was a pretty high pick as a running back there. But no, man, I think this is someone who, when you look at the room and you're looking for someone who people aren't talking about right now, because I think the Marty Brown word is out a bit now, right? Like we've seen a lot of people talking about him. But look at this again, breaking tackles downfield. And then in the return game too, he could be a real weapon, man. So
hey P, I just thought about something. He said, man, look like Duke Johnson, and this man ran Raul on Duke Johnson High School.
He did, man. Those Duke highlights were special. Those Duke highlights were special though, man. Those Duke highlights were a different gravy.
That was back when you was in your bag back then. You was in high school breaking info then.
That was Duke. Duke was that was my class, man. That class. That was the class that kind of got me in, man. I was the same age as these guys, and I was just going to all these camps, hanging around, man. So good times. But no, man, Gerard Pringle. I think we could run those. We could run those all day, man. Birdstone, appreciate you. So smash that like button. It's free. Shout out to the villains. Shout out to the chasers.
Yeah.
Everyone watching this show. As well. Yeah, man. So just wrapping up the thoughts on this group before we get into, I want to get into CJ Daniels a little bit. He had a video that he posted looking good, but Elijah Lofton, X Factor, like we kind of glossed over that fact. He could be the best one, but I think this room's in a really good spot for this season. A lot of Derek Cooper talk the last few days, but again, that's not affecting what this group is doing, man. So I'm really excited about this group. And by the way, I think blocking wise, what you're going to get, like the toughness, the physicality out of this group is going to be and that's one of the reasons, like Lyle picked things up quickly last year. He did miss, I forget which game it was. He missed a blitz pickup and almost got Ward killed in one game. I'm someone in the comments remind me if you can, but someone had brought it up the other day too, and I remembered it. But overall, that's going to be, and we understand Beck can move, but he's also not moving the same way that Ward can. Well, it was Duke. Yes, it was Duke. It was Duke. Yeah. Stay true. 3291 says just met D Money at the airport while watching the live show. Hopefully you didn't say what I said about him, man. That we have no propaganda now. No, man. Missing D here. We'll have him back later this week. But
hey Pete, like you were saying, them boys gonna be tone setters.
Yeah,
and that's what we need, tone setting. Like,
yeah, man. That room looks physically. That room just like if you just put your eyes on them, they look how it's supposed to look.
Right.
When Mario first came in here, remember they had to bring in the back from UAB, Lucius Stanley.
I never forget.
They had, and that's where the depth was at this point.
Right. Now we don't
So
need a Lucius Stanley.
yeah. No,
Lucius Stanley.
they listen. It was it just shows you the depth. It was tough times, man. So let me see what's going on here. Yeah, D Money just texted me. He said I'm walking in the airport and somebody was watching you guys on their phone. There you go.
Yeah.
Stay true. We just got that comment. So
man.
Play by the rules. Appreciate the support. So moving on from running back, man. Very excited about that group, but I think we're all kind of in agreement here outside of, assuming Beck is healthy, assuming that he is, and everything we're hearing is that he's good, right? But that receiver room, not a lot of production at Miami from that crew. It's interesting because you actually have brought in a good amount of production between CJ Daniels, Tony Johnson, and Keelan Marion. But like between Tony Johnson, who there's a lot of people who are excited about him, but we understand that I think Malachi Tony's upside will probably, have him on the field right away and making him a feature part of the offense. But Keelan Marion as well, those guys are interesting to me because they're going to be probably playing, at least Marion's going to be playing a different role than he did at BYU. You're probably going to ask him to do a little bit more. But I really, to me, the guy that I'm most looking forward to is CJ Daniels here. And talking about him in particular, as I pull up this video, I've been hearing, because he was another one kind of like Gerard Pringle, that he didn't come back until the end of spring as he was recovering from that foot injury that he suffered. And you see the video here. Yeah, I mean, this is all stuff without contact, obviously. But as a receiver, you like to see him getting out of these breaks, changing direction. This is the type of stuff that shows me he's ready to go. He's healthy.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I did a show with this Ohio State fan named Chris Drew.
Why would you do that, man?
Man, hey, man. Don't if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But anyway, this was before they won the Natty. You know what I'm saying? This was before they won the Natty. And like he was like, yeah, he saw us get CJ Daniels out the portal. And I said, how you feel about it? Because they keep talking about the production at LSU. He said, I'm not gonna even lie to you, 50. The way I look at receivers is traits. And when I see CJ Daniels, I see traits. And he spent back to, he remembered Jamison Williams didn't have that many yards and stuff at Ohio State. And he started. He told me, he said the man started. When he went to Alabama, you saw what he did because of those traits. And that's what I see right here. I ain't saying he Jamison Williams because they two different receivers, but you can see it. Like, you see that he's going to be getting first down. He's going to be making the tough catches and look like he's going to be routing people up too. So it is one of those, like, that man look real good. And he going to really give us, I think he going to give us more production than what Horton did that year. I'm not saying he's going to be better than Horton because I don't know what Horton going to do in Bama. But I'm talking about for us at Miami, we're good. We're good. Definitely with CJ.
The thing with CJ that is very interesting with me, 50, is I go back to what Brian Kelly was saying about him back, and I have the article pulled up. This is last November, right? CJ Daniels, guys, he came in from Liberty as one of the best downfield threats in the country, and he did not have a great year at LSU. He was messed up. His foot was messed up, right?
Right.
A lot of times you will hear these coaches, a guy, even though he was hurt, they're not going to go out there and really like talk about a guy too positively unless they really believe him. And then let's go back to who we're talking about here. This is Brian Kelly, who, the word on him is not that he's the nicest guy to play for, right? So reading these quotes, and it's interesting because this is before CJ Daniels had entered the portal. This is like when it looked like he was coming back. This is the last week of November. This was his quote on him. He said, "We're just excited about having him with us. And all indications are he's going to be back next year." Okay. So that's one thing. This is the next one. He's a great leader and he's been a glue guy for us in terms of consistency every single day, playing through a more significant injury than people realize. And he played through it, 50. So he's not a guy who just sat and wasn't trying to, like, he was trying to go to the league last year.
Right.
He went to LSU to make that move to go prove he could do what he was doing at Liberty and then make the move to the league. He could not do that because he was not healthy.
Right.
And he said he's had a pre-existing condition, a heel injury that's almost a dislocation, that I don't know how he does it. So I guess out of that quote, that would be really the only thing that I'm concerned with, that he says it was a pre-existing condition, that it was something that he kind of came there with and was dealing with. But I think that's part of the reason, from what I understand, Miami pretty much took it real slow with him during spring. He didn't, again, I remember the first day he was back at practice, there was like a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe left of spring ball. And Kevin Beard was pumped. He kept saying, Siete's in the building. He kept yelling it. Like you could see the energy that it brought the group, because as you talk about there, he's been one of those leaders, even though maybe when he came to Miami, he was still getting his heel right, his foot right, that he wasn't 100% at that time. But from what we hear, and then we see these videos coming out, I get it. They're in shorts and t-shirts, but he's going hard in those videos. And again, the movements that he's doing, it's like he's planting, he's cutting, he's changing directions. And if he's got all that in the bag, then I have no concerns about what he can be for this Miami team this year.
Me either. And I remember I saw an interview he did. It was like him and like, I guess, teammates from his high school or something. And he was talking about this caught my eye when he talked about it. He was like, he was mad that he didn't get the ball against Florida because he was cooking them DBs. I love to hear that. Plus, you know what I'm saying, as he was cooking them DBs, he also would talk about like the way it was set up. Like when he was in Liberty, he used to play outside, inside. They moved him around. He said he can't wait to get back to that. And I can't wait to see what they do with him. Like if he inside or outside, oh man, he ready to cook something. And that's what I want to see, because like he said, he was cooking them Florida DBs. They couldn't guard him, and he had a messed up heel. So imagine,
and he's big, man. He's big. Yeah. You see him there. Like I think Horton's probably an inch or two taller than him, and like Horton's muscled up a little bit more. But I think Daniels probably moves a little bit better laterally than he does. Horton, I think, maybe was a little bit underrated with yards after the catch. Like I think you said it a little while ago, Horton's gonna have a good year at Bama. Horton's gonna have a very good year at Bama, I think. So you know, I don't want this to be something where we look back on it like, oh, look, like they were saying that he was going to be better than Horton. Like you said, I don't know that's going to be the case. But I think his skill set is very, very important for what Miami has, because body type wise, the only other bigger bodied receiver you really have, I mean, Chance Robinson is bigger, but and we're getting some questions about him. It seems like he's on track. I just like we talk about these guys who are hurt, like until I see him out there at Green Tree making catches, like competing with these guys, I'm not gonna like put it out there like, man, this guy looks great. I appreciate and respect the fact that he's worked himself back now and he's a big talent. He could be an added piece to the room, but I'm not gonna say like right now, like, man, they're expecting him to be a big part of the offense. He could definitely work his way into being part of the mix. But you talk about the bigger body receivers, Josh Moore, huge fan of his. He was making some splash plays in camp, but are you counting on him to be a down and down out guy? I don't know that yet. I think he's more of a I keep using the word splash player. He's going to make some he'll go over the top of someone. He will, in the red zone, I think, be a real threat. But I think for right now, CJ Daniels is probably that closest thing to a bigger physical body target. That, as we've seen, Carson Beck likes to throw the ball up and let his receivers go make a play on it. Yeah,
and with CJ Daniels, like what you said, his leadership, right? For Josh Moore, he gonna need that. You know what I'm saying? Upshaw, they gonna need him. Like CJ Daniels, Malley, you know what I'm saying? He need that. Like you said, KB was hype when the man was back, so that means he bringing that, and that's what I love to hear. Like, and another thing about that interview that I saw, you could tell he regret going to LSU too.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it was unfortunate for him with the injury. It seems like maybe there was some stuff outside of the injury that he didn't love there. But I mean, look, he had a good
It was Cam
quarterback
Ward.
situation.
That's what it
Yeah.
was. It was the Cam
Yeah.
Ward.
Yeah,
Like, damn.
Yeah, because I if we remember correctly, Miami was recruiting him at that time last year, and they didn't get him because they didn't have the quarterback.
Right.
I wonder if Eric Singleton's gonna have those sort of thoughts this year after the year.
I hope so. Oh man, what's crazy is Jackson Arnold is better than any quarterback they had last year, though. I give him
Vil says seems like y'all have no confidence in Chance Robinson. That's man,
I love Chance Robinson
at all. We're big fans of his, but like he wasn't really healthy. He wasn't healthy at all last year. So like, and you know, it from what it sounds like, he's getting back to it. I just have more concrete evidence on CJ Daniels right now.
Yeah, and that's no slight to Chance. I feel like if Chance healthy, I will say this, Val. I do see him playing if he's healthy because of his big body. I know he can block, and I know he can catch. Like, it's just simple.
Yeah.
But until he out there, we can't really speak on it.
Well, it's kind of like, to me, we get the question a lot, and we're talking about receiver a lot here, 50. So this isn't the full receiver. We'll do the full receiver preview with D Money tomorrow, but it's an interesting conversation to me because we get the question about Ray a lot too. Like, oh, why aren't you guys talking about Ray? Why aren't you guys mentioning Ray? Look, we are fans of Ray. I still think that he can become an important player to this Miami team. But for 2 years, we've said we're excited about Ray. We're ready to see it, and it just hasn't happened yet. So I'm not going to come on here and do it 3 years in a row. I'm not giving up on him though. At the same time, right. Like you can be somewhere in the middle. You don't have to be, man, this guy's going to be an incredible player for us this year. And then you also can't, like, you can also say, oh, it's not going to do anything for us. You can be somewhere in the middle. And I think that's where I am with a Chance Robinson and with a Ray, for example.
Right. Well, Ray, like you said, you just got, hey, we just gonna wait to see. But I like what he did though. I like what I saw in the spring. He looked,
tell me, I mean, he looked a little leaned up to me, 50. I think when I interviewed him at spring or at fall camp last year before the season, he almost looked like too big to me. And it's not like, yes, a JoJo trader needs to put on weight. A lot of these young guys need to put on weight, but there's also that certain point of like, you're taking away from what makes you special. Right. And I don't know what his weight was when he stepped on the scale, but I do think that he looked like he was moving a little bit better this spring.
Yeah, I can agree with that because I saw it out there. Like, don't get me wrong, when Mally made a play, he made a play. But Ray was right there making plays too. So it was just one of those, like, I saw the competition. I love what I saw. I'm like, yeah, they making each other better. And he's saying all the right things. So
he stuck around, and we saw, like, I know Mario still used, like we've talked about, Mario had him taking Tristan Keys around. So this is someone he's a part of Mario's, vision for this program. This is, we see guys who get kicked to the curb. We see guys who, they kind of push out the door. That has not been the case with Ray whatsoever. And I always say, man, keep a close eye on those guys, because there's normally a reason why the staff wants to keep them around.
Right.
Vil says, I'm really rooting for Chance and Artavius Jones at DT to become factors offensively and defensively. I think we just talked about Chance, but Artavius Jones, man, I think he's someone who took a big step this spring from a maturity standpoint. I give credit to D. Lou because we've seen what he can do in the weight room, but you know how those DTs are a little bit immature sometimes, right? And they man, you can get by with that size and athleticism for so long as a defensive lineman in the high school level. It's a different game, and I think he made a nice push this spring.
Right, and him making a nice push really strengthens our D line because you got Blay, you got Scott, you got
Moten,
you got Dante Simpson. You got him.
I think it's between Jones and Simpson for that DT4 spot. And we call it DT4. That's not including the fact that we'll see Bain slide inside to the 3 tech. We'll see Blunt play that. We'll see Mesidor play that. So
Blunt? I love the sound of that, man.
Yeah. That's what I've heard, man. That's what I've heard. Blunt's 270 right now. And I mentioned it the other day, 50. I heard in these workouts he's outrunning some of these linebackers. Now I don't know if that's a good thing for the linebacker room, but no,
man.
Yeah. We can. It's like when it's like in these scrimmages, right? When the running game goes crazy, they say, "Man, the D line's terrible. We can't stop the run," or vice versa. You know,
right?
So it's like that. It's one of those things where it's like, damn, it's great he's outrunning these linebackers, but what does that mean for the linebackers? But no, I think maybe, I don't know, maybe not this year as much because you do have Bain and Mesidor who will slide inside, but I think long term that you're going to see a lot of that with him.
Right. It is funny how you brought that up because after that, you know what I'm saying, the Swab track, and I had Swab up in my space just replaying the track on them. You know, the rivals been waiting for some material. You just gave it to him, Pete.
There it is. Danny
Boy
Boykin, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you hopping on here. DBC, 40 days. Wow, 40 days, man. Sheesh.
Damn.
40 days, and I can't say the official date, but we got in the next week plus here. We got camp starting. So we got that. We got ACC Media Days today. I know that Mario and Carson Beck were just on with Joe Rose. So let me see if we got any. Let me pull up Twitter real quick. Let me see if we got any crazy quotes we can talk. I don't think Carson Beck is going to give them much to. I think he's going to be very even keel, man. I don't think he's going to give these people too much. Here we go. This is interesting. We got a video here of Beck at ACC Media Days talking to the. He's talking to the new Senior Bowl. There's Mesidor with him, but the video says he's chatting with new Senior Bowl executive director there. So obviously still on the radar of the.
Drew, what's his name?
Drew Fabianish.
Okay, I just wanted you to say it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know. I kind of avoided saying it as well, but I did my best. I know who would have butchered it is D Money would have had that real wrong. DBC said Mario's on later this morning. Let me pull up. Actually, I know that Hurricane Sports had tweeted out, or Canes football had tweeted out the schedule. Let me pull it up right here.
You see what 352 said in the comments?
No, let me see it. Hold on. Listen, I'm no comment. I'm not gonna pull that one up. You guys can look in the comments on that one. I don't think he's outrunning Mo Torre. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I just saw that. I'm like, come on, man.
So here's the schedule for today. You have so that's live right now. Should be on 560. I mean, you guys can probably pull it up if you aren't in Miami on the WQAM website. But you got Cristobal, Beck, Wesley, Francis, and Mesidor all going to be on the Joe Rose show. And then 11 and 11:30 ACC Network is the Miami press conference. So I guess that'll be all the players, I guess. And then Mario's at 11:30. So we have that circled. Carson Beck at 3:45.
Right.
That's going to be Beck talking to me. 50 is going to be interesting just because, again, I don't think he's going to give them much to say, but it's going to be the first time he talks to media outside of the podcast he did. God, I keep getting it wrong, man. You know the podcast that he did.
Damn, what they would call. I know it's a Georgia podcast, though. I know they Georgia based. They kept talking about him.
Yeah, it was a good interview though. I thought the one that they did with him. It was a lot more than just football, but we're going to get a lot of questions about he's going to get a lot of questions, I should say, about how his time ended at Georgia for sure, because there hasn't really been much. He hasn't said much about his time at Georgia or leaving Georgia. And then his health, he's going to get a million questions about it. And so is Mario and so is all the other players. Built for More. Yeah, Built for More podcast. That was a good podcast. Croqueta King says Joe Rose interviews with all the guys were good. Mauanoa mentioned that after Beck committed that he sent Beck a text saying he isn't going to let anyone touch him. Good stuff. That must have made Carson feel a little more safe.
No.
What else you got? Anything else you got, 50?
Oh man. Did you see that Bobby Pruitt interview I did?
Oh yeah, let me pull that up. I was gonna say you that one did numbers. Let me pull that tweet up that you had sent out. I mean, that was at what, like almost 8,000 views?
Oh yeah, on Twitter, like the tweet, yeah. But the video, I think it's gotta be like 7,500 views. And
yeah, that's what I was talking about. Let me pull it up here.
Yeah.
You tweeted it from what, your personal?
Yeah, my personal. I had went back to the old Avid, everything, had to get back in my bag real quick.
There you go. Here we go. I'm pulling it up right here, guys. If you have not checked out this interview with Cameron Bobby Pruitt.
Yeah, right there.
Highest viewed video on category 6 right now. What were your biggest takeaways? There you go. What were your biggest takeaways from the interview, 50, for those who haven't seen it yet and just kind of teasing a little bit to get them to go watch it?
Oh man, the mentality. Like the mentality. I give him one little snippet. One thing he said was how they don't like when people throw the U down, right? So in the locker room, they make sure all the U's are up. Even in the weight room, everywhere, U is up, like never down. Like that's how serious they taking this cane stuff. So yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That seems like a Mario thing to me. Kind of let them know what it means, man, and the disrespect won't be tolerated, right? I think that's the message and the theme, but it's on them to go out there and correct it. It's on them to go out there and put that disrespect to bed, right?
Yeah, and another thing, he was real confident in his coverage skills too. I say that too.
Dr. John, well, and that brings up this question right here. Think Pruitt could play some snaps in certain packages as strong safety. Man, I'll say this, and D said it the other day. D said they see him as a linebacker. They don't see him as a safety. I just think that a lot of that, like, oh, what position is this guy's playing, kind of gets thrown out the window with Heatherman's defense, the way that he's going to try to disguise a lot of stuff where, like, this isn't the video game where you put guys in certain spots and they don't, like, there's going to be packages where Pruitt is in coverage. Yeah, there is going to be packages where I'm sure that he's asked to match up with a tight end, for example. But I don't see him being a, one of the two safeties on the field, so to speak.
Right. I see him as more of what Diaz had, like a striker. Like I see he could do that hands down easily. Like I'm not worried if he like the nickel / linebacker / safety, we good. Right.
Vil says, who are the top 6 linebackers in the rotation? Do we think Sampson will be able to step in a starting role near the second half of the season? Off the top of my head, Wesley, Popo, Torre, Pruitt, Wiley.
I'm trying to think.
Alderman. I mean, Alderman, you got to throw in the mix too, because he's a guy who's played a lot of football. I mean, that's 5 right there. Who am I missing?
Nah, I think you said. Wait, you said Popo,
Torre, Basanth. Kellen Wiley. And that's.
You said Pruitt.
Pruitt's 5. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying in this order, but that's 5 right there. And then
what? Washington. They keep talking about Washington.
Washington coming back. Listen, I'm a huge Bobby Washington guy. He's coming back from a bad knee injury. So, So guys, Bobby Washington, who's coming back from Bonner. That's the other one. That's the one I was missing. Yes, they're pumped about him. But that's a nice little crew right there. Bobby Washington, Scuba Steve asked about him. He tore his Chase Smith. He's another one.
Hey, tell him watch that Pruitt interview. Pruitt talk about
who? Smith?
About Washington. Yeah, he talking
about.
He talking about Smith too.
Yeah, Smith. No, I think Smith and Malik Bryan are going to be more like stand-up pass rushers. But let me see here. Washington, man, I've been a huge fan of his coming out. I watched a lot of him in high school. But he tore. I'm pretty sure it was an ACL. So don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it was a severe knee injury that it was the day that he announced he was coming back in bowl practice. So that was in December. So I mean, I don't know how ready he is to be full contact yet, but I'm not giving up on him at all. He brings a different size, speed element to the game that you just don't have. King says that Pruitt interview was on point 50.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And look at
Playing time says all linebackers are Jags until proven otherwise. I mean, look.
Playtime. I be wanting to know who playtime is, because this man be going hard. He be going hard on my channel too, man. That man
I was gonna say this. Torrey definitely isn't a Jag, assuming he's healthy, which all indications are he's good to go. But and then look, I think people are a little down on Popo as well, which he's not a 6'4". He doesn't look like Kellen Wiley. I think that picture of him next to Kellen Wiley didn't do him much justice. But 50, correct me if I'm wrong, Popo was coming along pretty good last year until he got hurt and missed a few games.
Right.
He had that big play against Louisville.
Right.
And like, he's not running a 4.4, but he's also not, like, he can move a little bit now. He's not, he's quick. He's not afraid to thump either. Yeah. So I think we gotta pump the brakes on Popo a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of trying to, you know how they do new toy syndrome. They're throwing the Popo toy away when it's actually still good condition, man.
Canes Cat C305 says the schools in Popo's final three: Miami, Georgia, Alabama.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and King says Popo isn't short. He's not short. I've been around Popo and been next to him multiple times. He's not short. He just next to Kellen Wiley, who's 6'4", 240. Did not look very tall. But he's not Corey Flagg in terms of that. So yeah. Jags for Santana asking means just another guy. So a guy who's just out there.
Hey Pete, that was Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram picture right there.
Yeah. That's not listen. Hopefully it turns out that same way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kellen Wiley a beast though.
Yeah, Kellen Wiley's a beast. Yeah, man, we're getting a little Popo love here now. I forget what the injury was last year, 50, but he missed like 2 or 3 games in the middle of him kind of coming on.
Right.
That I think set him back a little bit, but I think he's gonna be rocking and rolling, ready to go. Yeah. And he had a solid spring, but obviously they wanted to bring in more. So
yeah, hey, like I said, man, I'm loving what I'm hearing about Heather, man. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I am too. I don't want to hype things up too much.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm gonna leave it at that.
Listen, we'll leave that up. We'll let D Money do that work.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Pete. Them kids got me hyped though when I'm talking to them.
Yeah, definitely. And I've spoken. You've gotten these exclusive interviews. Just me talking to a few of them outside of the interview space. Like,
right.
One thing they tell me is that it's a much simpler, especially the linebackers have told me this. Like, it's a simpler scheme. They aren't they don't have to read as much. They kind of know what they're supposed to do before the play and go play their role. Right. I know last year that they were asked to kind of like play a lot on the perimeter, these linebackers, and cover a lot of these bubble screens and stuff, which I don't know that they had, the skill set to do that. Right. Kyle saying that Heatherman turned Minnesota's defense around in one season. We saw Joel Klatt the other day said that he is a bit, Joel Klatt's not kind of a Canes hater at times because of, what happened when he played Miami back in the day. But I do think he brings some good analysis. And he said that he was a big fan of Heatherman he called games at Minnesota and got to sit down with him prep. So he was very impressed with him. But yeah, man, I think we're on the same page there. It's just like we got hurt so badly last year that we can't be too excited until we see it.
Yeah, man. Still Guidry. Gotta see.
And you know what the crazy thing is too, is that we could have a great performance week 1, beat Notre Dame.
And I'm still worried.
Down. It's like, man, we saw this against Florida last year.
Yeah. You don't know what's crazy? We could go 4-0 and out of conference. I'm still waiting for ACC play because that's when we really, really got exposed. USF exposed us, but we really got exposed in ACC play. And
Kyle asking, can he make this group top 20, top 10? Heatherman will have better ingredients than Guidry last season. You know, I've said this a couple times. Everyone talking about the linebackers and the DB, really the safeties, 50. And to me, my question more than anything is defensive line, because you're bringing back a very similar group. You're losing, and we don't talk about this very much, 50, because he wasn't a draft pick, but you're losing a first-team All-ACC defensive tackle in Simeon Barrow, who was a really good. Like, I think that might be maybe the most under the radar loss of the year, because that was a first-team All-Conference defensive tackle. You don't replace those guys very easily. You didn't go out and really bring anyone in from the portal to do that. You're expecting Justin Scott to take a step, Ahmad Moten to be more consistent, David Blay. Well, Blay you brought in. Excuse me. You brought in Blay, who Blay is going to be a very good player, I believe. Maybe has more NFL upside. Does have more NFL upside than Barrow because he was
taller, bigger.
Right. So to me, you just need more production out of the group. We understand there's not going to be as much stunting going on, but you need more production out of that group 50. And a lot of it comes down to Bain. He wasn't healthy last year, but you had some talent in that room between him and Barron. We understand that Barron, the motor wasn't always running. There were some questions about him, but there was talent in that room. You didn't go crazy in the portal. You're relying on that group taking a big step. Against the run, they were solid, but need to see them get after the quarterback more consistently this year.
Yes, but I'm definitely looking at, like, you have dominant D tackles. I'm talking crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like that's just the missing ingredient right there. We got the dominant O line. You got a D line that's just all around dominant, like, and they both playing to their potential. Oh, we cooking.
352 says Blay looked great versus Arkansas and NC State. I'm talking about knockback power and jump was eye-opening for sure, man. I talked to one scout earlier this offseason who said he could be a top 3 round sort of pick. Again, I don't know that he's not a huge space eating D tackle, so he's got to show that power consistently at his size, and then he's got to show those quicks to be able to penetrate and get in the backfield. But Scuba Steve asking about Jadaeus Richard, how he's healing up. It was an ACL late in the season, man. So progressing, but I don't think we're expecting him back until at least midway point of the year. Albert McKinney says he wasn't great last year, but I like his skill set for safety, man. I'm not giving up on him. He's another guy who has some NFL admirers with his size and his speed. So 50. Anything else here, man? Before we wrap it up, we've gone over an hour. We got 1,200 live here. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Do the same thing for Category 6 Sports. When are you guys on again? On the spaces or whenever?
Wednesday at 6 p.m. Yeah, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Going live. We gonna talk about ACC media days and things like that. But also, you know what I'm saying, you got category6playbook.com where you get that different sports picks, merch, recruiting news, all 22, just plenty more. Just come rock out with us, man. We got you, man. Thank you, Pete, for letting me get on today, my boy.
Nah, man. Listen, it was a nice show with you today. Good to talk running back room. We're both very excited about it.
Right.
And man, we're just about a week away here. I'm excited to hear the show on Wednesday. I'm sure there won't be too many narratives coming out of ACC Media Day, right?
Nah. You wanna know what's crazy? On Twitter, they're gonna find a narrative, but other than that, man.
There's definitely going to be some narratives coming out. I'll tell you what, though, if you guys need your gear for the season here coming up, Miami HTS.com, the Miami Hurricane team store directly across from campus, Miami HTS.com. You see everything they've got here. They still got these beautiful Ed Reed and Sean Taylor 2001 throwback jerseys. Your first order, 20% off using the code INSIGHT20 at MiamiHTS.com. 50, man. Great talking to you today. I'm pretty sure we'll get a new drop here on Miami HTS soon. The new, like every year, Adidas puts out their new stuff for the season. Usually comes out here right before the year. So excited to see what they got. And listen, man, appreciate you for joining us today. Shout out to the Chasers. Shout out to everyone listening to this show today. Hit that like, subscribe, and go Canes.
Go Canes. Oh man.